Well, we're going to have a lot of fun today. I'm Juan Carlos Gonzalez. I am Martech Tech Lead at BBVA Technology. And today we are going to see real production use cases for our pipelines. I'm going to show you best practices for quality assurance with Tealium Suite. But first of all, I'm going to give you a bit of context about the company that I work for and also my own tech background. BBVA. BBVA is a major Spanish multinational financial service group, a bank, headquartered in Bilbao, that's in northern Spain. And I have to say that I work directly to BBVA Technology. That is a consultancy company for the BBVA group. We are the techies and the geeks for BBVA. BBVA has presence in all Latin countries and also some of the European countries as well. Tomorrow, at the main stage, my pal, Andreu Uribarri, is going to give a speech about the AI business strategy for BBVA. So please join it in case you want to know about a bit more about the company and AI strategy. So, about me. Well, I'm from Asturias. That's in northern Spain as well. But I am solely living in Barcelona for the last years, the sunny Barcelona. My main hobbies are traveling around the world and enjoying a good beer on a sunset. Who doesn't? Yeah? About my tech background. I started, well, a younger version of me started as a IT help desk in 2005. Later, I started working as web developer. I spent 10 years working as full stack developer for all kinds of companies, startups, and projects. I switched to data and analytics in 2015 as a consultant. And soon later, I joined the BBVA Tealium project. I rolled officially at BBVA 4 years ago. And yeah, today I am a speaker on Digital Velocity event, so not too bad. Let's have a look on our Martech journey with Tealium. Our first Tealium was Tealium IQ as tag manager that landed on BBVA Spain in 2013. We have a 2-year data layer project, huge project that changed everything. That was the first step for our data quality. On 2017, we moved from client-side to server-side with the mobile solutions with Tealium EventStream. We have landed on several European countries like Italy, Germany, and Portugal in the last years. And our last milestone with Tealium was in 2023 when we start working with the CDP AudienceStream. And right now, I have been 10 years in this project. Let me give you some amazing facts about this relationship between Tealium and BBVA. Well, thanks to this data layer project, we have a very good foundation. Our data quality changed completely with that. And we have mastered Tealium IQ. Thanks to our template systems, we are able to deploy a new country for BBVA in just a few days. Bang, just like that. What? Switching from client-side to server-side, all the mobile solutions? Sure, gave us 3 months, just like that. And also, our first CDP in just 30 days, a month. And I have to make a little break here to tell you a little story about that, because it was a pain in the ass. The title of the story will say something like, well, shit happens everywhere. Yes, indeed. It was 2023, and someone came to our Martech team and said to us, well, guys, your DMP license is going to end on the next month. And we have decided that you are not going to continue with this provider. So, good luck. Well, remember, we are a bank. We have tons of bureaucracy. So any change like that, that was a mess. After 3 weeks of bureaucracy, looking for new providers, testing tools, signing contracts, making demos, everything, we ended up with CDP as Tealium AudienceStream. But what was the problem? That, well, for my Martech team and I, we only have just 1 week left to setting everything up. And that was creating new attributes, stitching IDs, business rules, audience, and configuring the first connectors. And you know what? We nailed it. In just 5 working days, we get everything done. Thanks for sure to my Martech team and also the support from Tealium. As you can see, shit happens everywhere. It doesn't matter how big the company is. But let's move on. Let's come back to our presentation for today. We're going to see quality assurance points for the 3 Tealium suite tools, Tealium IQ, EventStream, and AudienceStream. I'm going to show you 2 POCs, 2 real cases for each tool. Shall we? Let's begin with Tealium IQ. We are going to see a normalizer and a tag killer. The data layer normalizer. Well, for our case, not all our channels, not all our geographies can upgrade the data layer to the same version at the same time. So we have different versions of the data layer. How can we handle this? Well, we implement a normalizer with JSON schema validation and compare functions inside Tealium IQ. So in case the data layer arrives to Tealium and does not match the schema, we transform it to the right version. We normalize it. This is very important to be done on a before tags scope. So after that, all the logic on Tealium will working with the normalized data layer. A tip here, you can also send to your analytics systems a watermark where this is happening. So in case you detect this data layer that does not match the schema, you can send it just a watermark, a variable to your data analytics systems to have some KPIs. Pretty powerful. About KPIs, for the last year, for 27 billion of events for BBVA Spain, 97% had perfect taxonomy. Just 3% needed to be reworked and refined. Let me tell you that without this QR point here, those percentages will be dramatically worse. Well, the vendor tag killer. This is one of my favorites. What is the challenge here? Well, to block vendor tags on 404 error pages, for example, to improve performance and also save money on license. You know what? Banks love money. So the solution is a bit tricky, but if you follow the steps, you will have it. We just create a condition based on URL or data layer to detect the 404 error pages. Then we create a JavaScript extension inside Tealium IQ with this condition, and the desired vendor tags scoped. So inside this JavaScript extension, you are going to write the code return false. If you don't know it, when Tealium finds a return false inside of an extension, it will block completely. It will stop all the logic for the scoped tags. In case you don't have any scoped tag, it will block completely. It will shut down. And yeah, then check the results. As another tip here, you can also leave your analytics tags, for example, not blocked, to send some metrics of these 404 errors and have some dashboarding and KPIs. Another KPI, almost 300,000 for error pages are not triggering vendor tags daily in BBVA, thanks to this solution. Let's move on. Let's go to the server side, the EventStream. We are going to see a file import logger and a PII normalizer in real time. File import logger. What is the challenge here? Well, for sure, you are using file importing. Probably you are working with offline data or just another source with files import. So how can we be 100% sure that all the imported data has been imported properly? All the columns, or the data, all the rows, or the attributes? You cannot. For sure, you can have some error loggings, but you will not have the detail of them. So the solution here is to use functions from Tealium. These are very powerful tools from the Tealium suite. With functions here, we are able to expect and check the attributes on each row for file import. through errors on exceptions and data errors, and also log some random results as a sample. For example, you can just log 100 lines or rows from your file to have a look at what's happening there. Also, another tip here, you can filter your UDO bars inside the function, so you don't have to check all the data layer. You just need to check the bars or the variables that are on the files. Here's the code for this function, for example. Don't worry about that, because I'm going to share with you a drive at the end of the presentation with some code resources, and it will be there. So in case you want to download it and test it in your Tealium account. We found more than 400,000 errors by file due to a bug on columns naming. So there was an error on the columns naming for the file. Right now, all rows are double-checked for data values and key IDs, thanks to this solution. Let's continue. The PIA normalizing real-time stream. This is very aligned with the normalizing that we have seen for the Tealium IQ, the data layer one. What is the challenge? Well, you are probably sending PIA data, or could be, directly to your EventStream pipelines. Because, for example, you don't have any Tealium IQ data source for this. Or maybe the source is another one that you don't have any control over it. The thing is that you are receiving PIA data direct on the EventStream. Let's use the email for our example. You're probably getting dirty emails. How can we handle this? Well, again, with functions, we're able, in just 2 lines of code, to clean this email. We are going to trim and lowercase the email and also hash it. So after this function, all your PIA data will be normalized and ready to use on your connectors. Very powerful, just 2 lines of code. This is an initiative for zero-party data that we are going to deploy coming soon this year for BBVA. And let's continue on the CDP, Tealium AudienceStream. We're going to see shadow batching and also canary releases. Shadow batching, OK. The main concept is a bit tricky here. We're going to admit critical business logics, for example, a VIP batch. What should we be done here? Well, all the batches are assigned probably by business rules. So the logic for the QA here is to make a parallel batch with these conditions. That the original batch, the VIP one, is assigned, and also we have to check if one of the business rules are not matched. So in that case, the batch is fails, is wrong assigned. And you are going to say me, but Juan Carlos, when is happening this? This is really happening? Yes, for sure. This is pretty easy to happen, because maybe someone forgot to make a remove rule for the batch. So the batch was originally assigned, but never removed, and still it's there. Also, the more people that works on the CDP, the more easy that human errors are going to be done. Then, with this sample, we are just creating an audience with all our fake batch assigned. So with this, you are able also to connect to a connector, to a webhook, or whatever, to send this to a database, or just to make an alert on your Slack channel to detect these kind of issues. Let's continue with the last one, the canary releases. What is the challenge? To make safe canary releases for new connectors. This is very aligned with your developers teams, developing also lifecycle and DevOps teams as well. The solution here is pretty simple. We just need a random number. We have to generate it maybe in Tealium IQ or other place that generates a random number from 1 to 100. Then, in AudienceStream, you're going to generate a new audience that says, well, that a new batch, when the random number is less or equal to 10, must be assigned, and also that the original batch, for example, the VIPs, are assigned as well. So, as you can see in the sample, first we have the VIP batch assigned, and also we have the test group with the 10%. So if you are involved, you are ready to be connected on the connection, in the connector to be in the test group for the 10% of your customers. Why should we do this? Maybe you don't want to, you are going to connect a new connector and you don't want to move all your audience to the new connector. Maybe you just want a test group, a 10% of your customers to just try and test the new connector. Maybe because it's a new technology, you don't know the provider or so on. So very powerful and very aligned with development lifecycle. That was all from the QA for today. I'm going to show you now a bit of what are we cooking for 2026 for BBVA with Tealium. We've had 3 parallel projects. Syncra project. This is a direct connection in real time from web and app navigation to Salesforce Marketing Cloud for retargeting and remarketing purposes. Also, we're working with data layer enrichment, very powerful tool from Tealium Suite. We are going to bring our CDP attributes to the client side to work with A/B testing, to enrich A/B testing in near real time, for example, with Adobe Target. And for sure, we are also working together with cross teams to generate new use cases for our CDP. As I promised, I'm going to leave you here my LinkedIn profile and also the drive with the code resource that we have discussed today. I'm going to come back to this slide later. And yeah, thank you all. Thanks for listening. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the digital velocity. And remember, without data, you are just another person with an opinion. Thank you all.
So we're going to start with the data normalizer, which is absolutely fantastic. But it runs on a lot of scripting, doesn't it?
Sure.
On a client side. Was there any objection to putting such heavy scripts on the front end?
For sure. We're a bank, so performance and security is a must. So yeah, we have to get a balance between performance and freedom. So that is where all the teams have to work together to complete the layer of security and performance, working together with us.
Yeah. So. And what, in terms of performance, does it impact the performance of the site, or how does that work?
Well, really not, because we have passed very strict controls of how the performance of the Tealium is impacting the channel. So we have several checks, and we try to improve it every day.
And can it be used, the same techniques, can it be used to, for instance, detect any data manipulation, or in tandem with maybe a server-side validation as well, just to prevent that, man in the middle or that bad actor appearances?
These are just some examples of how can we handle quality assurance for our data in the Tealium pipelines, but there are plenty of them. You can also have to keep in mind that the security layer has to be done from the backend to the front end or everywhere. So it has to be aligned with the standards of your company.
Yeah, never trust your own users, isn't it?
Sure.
That mentality. Perfect. Is there any questions from the audience? Yes, there's one question. Let's just wait for the mic, for the signal.
I hope I know the answer.
Yeah.
Next question.
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, you showed us a lot of detection method, really interesting. Do you have any alerting methods? I think you mentioned manual checks. I don't know if you have anything else.
Yes, well, we have plenty of quality assurance points on the Tealium Suite. The most ones are on the Tealium IQ, because it's the biggest site of our Tealium Suite, maybe because most all of our control is there. So we have plenty of alerts also, and webhooks also, and connectors on the EventStream. And yeah, we try just to have an eye on everything. Yeah, you have to be very, very careful, because these are very useful but very powerful tools as well. So for sure.
So speaking of the tag killer, this is absolutely fascinating how you can do two things at once. Do some good on your website, but also save on those volumes by not releasing those tags. And So can this be used in all the insights from this actual process? Are they being used and followed up in, let's say, customer service or something like that, just so they know that this page occurred and no tags were fired?
Sure. That's what the main reason that we have said that it's very important to leave our analytics tags not blocked, just to have all the KPIs, all the dashboarding, all the metrics of your for errors or other sites. So after that, we send everything to our analytics system, Adobe Analytics in our case, to have all the info there and make further decisions and other actions.
Okay, and the same technique of stopping something on the client side, is it used also server side to, let's say, stop some connectors?
Yes, indeed. But the thing is that we have a similar but different approach on the server side because we have very strict business rules that control how we trigger the connectors in just a very reduced scenario. So it's very controlled, but it's the same principle here.
Okay, perfect. Any questions so far? I'm going to press with mine. Okay, let's press on with mine. On this file import logger, this is really good at stopping those inconsistencies. Sometimes we all know we can upload a file and it just has completely different format, different column names, and so on. But once you detect that, is there some other analysis later on done on those files or on those logs from those files?
Well, once you have the logs, you can use plenty tools of internal tools to analyze them or maybe make some machine learning or what's happening there and also make decisions about further steps. Yeah.
Perfect. Normalizing in real time. That's very similar to what you did with standardization before, but normalizing this in real time. Was it used already to detect some anomalies or some inconsistencies or some attacks, bearing the cyber attacks and all that stuff? Was it used in that context as well?
Well, the sample that we have seen today here for BBVA is just in testing phase, so we don't have this approach ready. But you have to keep in mind, as I said before, that the companies have to make sure that the security layer is reliable for all the tools, or for example, also for Tealium. So that was also main task for all the security layer for the company. And the backend or the front end as well.
Okay. Next question about shadow badging, unless there's any other questions from the audience. Oh, there's one question. There you go.
Yes, thank you. Functions are great, indeed. You seem to be using them. They do come with limits. Do you ever run into those?
Sorry?
They do come with limits, the functions. Do you ever reach those limits, or do you have a fail-safe mechanism for that, or anything?
What? Yeah? Continue.
Anything?
Well, we just use functions for this kind of codes that we have seen today, pretty simple codes. We are not using with other tools or third-party connections, but for sure there is plenty of documentation on the Tealium website, and also you can check with the support team because there is a lot of use for these Tealium functions. And also there are several separate layers of using this. You can use it before the event is processed, after the event, and before the AudienceStream pipeline. So it's very powerful.
Yeah, but I meant also more the rate limits. If you ingest a lot of events, then functions might hit rate limits. I just wonder with those many events that you have, if you ever run into these.
Well, for the functions, we have always, as I said, it's just very clean and very simple actions. We are not using very complex or something like that pipelines. So, and we don't have really any more than the things that we have seen today.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. If you're interested, obviously we've got Genius Bar, but also talk to any one of us. We can arrange some meetings with our engineers. I've worked with a number of different companies how to reduce the complexity of functions and therefore increase performance of them and reduce that time required for this. So talk to any one of us, we can arrange some meetings and we can strategize about the actual approach of how to optimize those functions for you. Okay. Awesome. Another question very quickly,
Sure.
so just checking time. Shadow badging. So it's really good at emphasizing the importance of checking whether the badge or whether the logic has been assigned, has been performed. Do you have any other, have you already detected any anomalies or anything else apart from just validating the business logic?
Okay. Well, you can also use another methodology to use this. Maybe you can use an spreadsheet and have all the rules and have like a history of all of them. And also you can check or double check with some machine learning on an AI agent that double checks the business logic for you. So you have to keep always an eye on overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And the next question, this canary release, obviously this is done on the client side by creating a random number. Is there, have you ever considered a split string attribute, for instance, the server side, just to run it from the server side, maybe expose it to the client side and so on?
Yeah, in case you don't want to, or you are not able to use Tealium IQ, you also can use the split string option that is in the Tealium docs for generate this random number on the server side. So it's all made on the EventStream server side. So you don't need any Tealium IQ or any client side for these purposes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.